have you always been the squeaky clean buddy, or you ever have a scumbag face?
Oh, scumbag face.
You said phase, didn't you?
phase.
I thought you said face too.
Yeah.
I
apologize.
No, it's all good.
I meant to say phase.
Yeah.
I didn't want you to suddenly start questioning your own face.
Yeah, I've had a scumbag face for a long time, Sidney. Thank you for the question. It's a very good. No, scumbag? No, even in college, I was raised by women, so it's kind of and correctly so. I mean, like, I was never, you don't be a scumbag. Try to be as respectful as you can to elders and other women. Like, I don't know. I've never cheated.
Yeah.
I've never cheated on anybody. I've never done it, so I didn't have really a phase, I guess.
I feel like my scumbag phase was precipitated by the fact that I was raised by women.
Oh.
But they might be scumbagettes.
Yeah.
that might be what that is all about. So, who knows?
So were they urging you to like date multiple women and stuff, or like what? How were
Sydney's
they?
mom
laying
made
up?
sure he had a sexy walk before he went to kindergarten.
Right.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, he was been practicing that.
Yeah. My mom has been trying to get me laid from day one.
You were hypersexualized as a child, dude.
Yeah. Yeah.
Wow.
She was like, no son of mine is not going to be fucking in kindergarten. I'm not going to have the only kid not fucking in kindergarten. I know that much. Yeah. All right.
Damn.
That's cool. You guys ready to get into this podcast now?
Yeah.
Two Jack Bros. Two Jack Bros.
Welcome back to Two Jack Bros. And if it is your first time, thank you to you and welcome. Thank you for giving us a shot. I am Sidney. I am sitting next to the champ, Ansley.
Hello.
And today our guest is none other than the Neil Wood.
Hey, what's up, everybody? How are you?
Good. What is up, Neil?
I feel good. I'm happy to be here, Sidney. Thanks, guys.
Happy to have you here, man. Thank you for coming to do this in the scheduling that we asked you to do this for. You're the man.
I appreciate that.
You're definitely the man.
It's very nice.
And also, so we're going to hop into this podcast. Neil, do you know what we do on this podcast by any chance?
Only by the clips, buddy. I got to be honest with you. I'm in the podcast game every day, and I haven't got to watch as much as I would really like. I'm coming in a little cold.
It's all good. It's all good. I think a lot of people come in cold. So basically, the premise of this podcast is to prove that you can have whatever type of sense of humor, right?
Okay.
You don't have to have a specific type of sense of humor to also achieve enlightenment or a higher consciousness.
Oh, wonderful.
So what we do is we bring comedians on here and we take them through the process of enlightenment so that the people listening and watching, they can reach a higher consciousness by only listening or watching in you, just vicariously through you. We also get a little bit of a boost. But hopefully
Not too much, but a little bit. Yeah.
No. I mean, we're way too immature about it throughout the podcast to get the full boost.
Okay.
But we're here.
Yeah.
Nice.
We're participants.
Yeah.
All right.
So you ready for that?
That's beautiful.
Yeah,
That's
hell
beautiful.
yeah.
Yeah, I'm in.
All right. So Ansley, get it started.
So Neil, what situation or event did you learn the most information from?
The most information, I feel like my uncle's death not too long ago was, it was kind of it was another wake up. You kind of start to have wake ups, but that one recently I was like, oh yeah, this is it. This is life.
Yeah.
And he's gone, and I just felt like something changed in me. It wasn't like a descriptive thing or like a certain thing, but just I was like, something's different.
Yeah, so obviously you were close to your uncle?
Yeah, very close.
Yeah. And this was somewhat recent, you said?
Yeah. Let's see. Within the last couple of months. I mean, yeah.
Oh, wow.
Sometimes I forget that he's like gone. It's like that kind of close where I'm like, oh, that's right, he's not there. Damn. Like it's
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that is. Was that the first close family death that you experienced?
No, sorry. Yeah, no, he wasn't.
Just the only one that mattered.
I know. You know what's?
Don't worry, the other ones aren't
You're
listening.
100. You stole it right out of my mouth. No, like it's messed up, and I know it's dark, but it's like my dad passing away was rough, but because my dad and my mom were divorced for a long time, and I had trouble connecting with my dad, I really like connected with my uncle.
Yeah.
More. Uncle, like through marriage, he was 6'8", he was a giant man, and we just, we clicked. I was big and awkward and didn't know what to do, so he felt like more like a father at some point.
Okay. Was your dad big?
Yeah, I am the exact height of my father. I am 6'5", so that was
okay.
But he was bigger. Yeah, there's my dad, and then you had a 6'8" guy who was 300 pounds, like monster.
Sorry, Dad.
Yeah, I know. Take that.
I'm a size queen.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What can I say?
Yeah. Get your height up, Dad.
What are you doing?
Yeah, that's okay.
Was it a sudden passing, or was there an illness? Or
It was pretty sudden. I mean, how much can be said about a guy who was 300 pounds,
Gotcha.
smoked most of his life? You're like, hey, Unc, if you don't kind of stop what you're doing, this is not going to go well. You're 6'5". I mean,
Yeah.
you're 6'8". You're giant. Your heart is going to explode.
I get it. It's one of those things where it's sudden, but you're also surprised it lasted that long.
Yeah. Yes.
Yeah.
Correct.
It's,
Same thing kind of with my dad. My dad, actually, we don't even, never even got confirmation. I don't know. My dad was just, they were just like, I don't
You
know.
don't know if he's dead? No.
Wouldn't that be a twist for your mind? You're like, look, Dad, if you're out there, listen, come find me. No, I don't think I ever got. I think they were just like, hey, your dad got sick. We really couldn't narrow down what it was, and the sickness came, and then he died. Like, it was that quick. The only thing I think they were like, hey, his spleen was 4 times 2 size, and I was like, good. Is that like an illness? Like, what does that mean?
Yeah.
But yeah, so that was pretty sudden. I was trying to make it to the hospital before he died. Like, that's how sudden, but I didn't make it.
Like like the way you were describing that initially kind of sounded like the way that my daughters used to tell stories. Do you remember that? It was like he got sick and then he died. Sorry. I was like, okay, doctor. Thank you. I guess. All right. So if you had to basically boil it down into like a sentence or two, like what is it that you got from that experience of your uncle passing?
I think it was running around doing comedy and all that stuff. It was like, hey, get back to your family. Like, you gotta, however hard it is at home or problems you have with people, it really doesn't matter because you're now getting, this is not 2 sentences.
No, live your life, dude.
Yeah, you're getting.
What if I was like
Yeah,
actually
yeah.
counting?
No.
Like, holy shit. Like, all right.
Come on, man.
Man, you owe us 3 sentences. At the end. Like you're in sentence debt at the end of the podcast. But yeah, I'm sorry.
The finality of life and just trying to connect to family. Like, hey, man, this does just end, and you need to go and make connections with your family, despite whatever the problems are. It doesn't matter. Try your best, because once they're gone, they're gone. It's done.
Yeah. But it's easy. It's easy, though, to think it doesn't matter what's going on when, like, a cool relative dies.
Sure.
You know what I mean?
Yes.
Like, it's like,
Definitely.
because, like, when a not so cool relative dies, it's just like, you know, shit, you learn that shit happens.
circle of life.
Yeah. But that's awesome, man. I'm glad that you had that type of man in your life. I think it's really cool when a guy gets to have another guy in their life kind of like rearing them through it. It's sick. Especially someone your height. You needed somebody. Like you can't just know how to be over 6'3".
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like you need somebody who's also over 6'3" to kind of like.
There's a lot of rules to follow, I suppose.
Yeah, I mean, you can like your stature alone is terrifying.
That's
You know what I mean? And you constantly have to worry about people that are our height, like forming militias against you, and like coming at you with like pitchforks and torches and shit. You know?
Yeah, absolutely.
Have you ever been chased out of a village?
Listen, I'm gonna get back to Pottstown, and you guys are like, I'm gonna go back to Sidney's hometown.
Yeah,
and you guys will not get me out. Yeah,
oh, they're tiny people. You don't want to go there. It's not even a real. It's the town. It's not even a real town. It's a hamlet.
okay. I did not know that.
Yeah, so we all have pitchforks on the ready.
Damn.
You can't.
guys are throwing
Somebody your
ropes
side.
over
You
me?
can't just like darken the fucking entrance to our town without somebody. Nobody's gonna let that happen. Yeah.
I just love the idea of a person passing by like the main street and then just seeing me silhouette in the distance. They're like, hey guys, who's that guy? Like,
Were you gonna let this happen?
not here in Pottstown. Not in this hamlet.
Yeah. Assemble the. Yeah.
Get the ropes.
There's a siren that goes off.
Look, guys, come on, stop. The ropes are being pulled over.
This is not a drill. This is not a drill. All right. Well, thank you for sharing that, man. Yeah.
Very well.
So now what we do, Neil, is we're gonna open up your chakras from the bottom chakra up.
Got it.
And the bottom chakra, by the way, is located in the butthole. I feel like that has to be said for consent purposes. Are you okay with that?
Yes.
All right.
Yeah.
Verbal contracts are legally binding in the state of Pennsylvania.
Yes, I know that.
All right. See, he knew what he was getting into.
Yeah.
All right, Ace, let's go. Let's pop this chakra.
All right. So, Neil, how did you learn to overcome fear?
I've almost died. a couple of times.
Couple
I
of
feel
times.
like that changed me. A couple of surgery. I'm not supposed to be here, technically.
Yeah.
Yeah. Appendix surgery that like burst in the middle of nowhere. It was a bad hospital. Like I was gonna die. The doctor woke me up and was like, "Man, another hour. You wouldn't have been here." And I'm like, "I'm 12, so maybe don't tell me that," because I was crying in the waiting room, just sitting there dying, and then you guys were like, "Whew, got one." Like it was nuts.
That was a close one.
Yeah. And then I had a piece of scar tissue wrapped around my bowel when I was like 21 or something.
Was that
Whoa.
from the appendix burst?
That was actually it was the scar tissue from the first surgery went and just got loose. I guess a piece of scar tissue wrapped around a lower bowel, and I might have had like a piece of bowel removed. It was not. Luckily, everything worked out, but and then I couldn't go into the military. So I've had like these moments of like, okay, my life is now just changed. My plans are changed, different things. I'm happy to be alive. Thank you, medical science.
Yeah.
I didn't even
But,
know that second one was a possibility. Like I didn't know scar tissue could get loose and go.
Yeah.
I don't
in the
think
body.
it can. Do you hear the way doctors describe shit to him?
You got sick. You almost died.
Yeah, loose bowel scar tissue. you're, you know, it wrapped around the bowel.
It's like your butthole chakra was not limited.
Yeah. So you're okay. So you're
Almost died.
you're
Yeah.
12 years old.
Yep.
Where were you when your appendix burst?
My appendix, it perforated as well. So I was at home in Hamilton, New Jersey, sick, throwing up violently, would not stop throwing up. My mom was like, "Let's just go to the hospital. I'm not sure what's going on. You should be done with a flu by now."
Mm-hmm.
They're like, the hospital actually is shut down. That's how bad it was. It was the hospital in Hamilton, New Jersey. I know it's weird because it's like a nice little small town, but they shut it down because they were still marking legs if somebody had to go in for a surgery. So they operated on the right leg. Like it was,
okay.
they were running it pretty bad. Yeah, they would like
Yeah.
mark her, be like, "This is the leg to operate
Yeah.
on." Like people
We've
were doing
messed
that.
this up too many times.
But yeah, went
Okay.
in, and they were like, "Yeah, you're really sick. You're not doing well." I waited. I didn't even get a bed. That's how they didn't have a bed, so I was just waiting.
Dude, they
in
don't
the-
have beds your size. What are you talking
Yeah,
about?
that's
Just
true.
lay on the floor. We'll put a pillow under your head. Not this hallway. This hallway's too short.
So, yeah, they just stuck me in the MRI machine just to hang out. That's the only bed long enough, unfortunately. But I was just kind of sitting there. It was fine. Like they were like, "Hey, we've just figured out that your appendix is perforated," which means like I started to feel better. When your appendix bursts, you feel better, which is bad. That means the
Yeah.
poisons are released. That means
Yeah.
the poisons that you're going to be getting the toxic shock. So they were like, "Yeah, I feel actually better right now." They're like, "Yeah, that's you about to die if we don't get you into the room." Yep, and cut me open, and then like I said, they woke up and they were like, "Whew, one more hour, you'd have not been here, kid." And I was like, "Okay, thanks."
Why does that happen to a 12-year-old? Like, what were you doing to your appendix?
No, exactly. Yeah. I don't know. Again, no one knows why appendixes come and go, right?
Okay.
It's a thing we kind of don't use as much. I think they're even trying to do some science now. Like they're like, "Oh, we kind of use it for this weird thing, but it can just go." Some people have it. It'll just happen at a time. So if you're ever deadly ill and you can't stop vomiting and have severe pain in your lower, go to the hospital.
Okay.
Not in Hamilton, New Jersey.
Yeah.
Go to a different one.
Noted.
But yeah,
Noted.
all that.
So what is it that you learned about fear through this process?
I was
'Cause I'm
yeah.
terrified.
I
I am now so concerned about my appendix.
And your scar tissue
Yeah.
going rogue.
Are you kidding me?
Yeah.
How many hamstrings I pulled?
I know.
Man, how far can scar tissue travel?
That's a good question. Hey, man, I don't know. I'll tell you the next time it happens because I think it might still happen again.
Okay.
But yeah, who knows? But yeah, to answer your first question of like, what did I learn about fear? I remember sitting in the hospital, like in the waiting room, going through all like the little tests and everything, and just crying to the point where I eventually stopped crying because I was like, all right, I might die. Like I like it just didn't seem. I was in severe pain. They were like, "Are we gonna get a room?" I know I have to go in for a surgery, and I'm just kind of sitting there, and I was like, "Okay." I just stopped crying. Mom was like, "Are you okay?" I'm like, "Yeah." Let's just go see what happens. So I
Awesome.
kind of like just
Wow.
made peace with it.
Yeah. So I guess they get no visual for a little while. Like, yeah, we're here now. Yeah. What was the last thing that we were just saying?
Fear. I decided that I was like okay with dying at 12 in the hospital.
Yeah.
Pretty much. Yeah.
That's pretty cool. I mean,
Yeah.
not.
No, I think you're right.
Yeah. Yeah.
I
Yeah.
did.
I mean, it puts things into perspective very early.
Yes.
You know, and it's man, that is wild. Thank you for sharing that.
Thank you.
And that is for sure a fear chakra popped. And before we move on, I want to apologize to everybody for the fact that we don't have footage for the first X amount of minutes. Somebody forgot to put an SD card in the camera.
What?
Yeah, and for the people listening, they would have never known that I was pointing at you, by the way. Yeah, they would have been like, oh, he forgot it. And then the people that were watching were like, oh, Ansley's an idiot.
And now we all know.
Now we all know. So here we go. Ace, keep it moving.
All right. We are now to the pelvis chakra. Okay. So, Neil, this is a segment we like to call...
Actually, just start over. No, I'm just kidding. I'm sorry.
Can't double pop chakras, Sidney.
We can't double pop?
You shouldn't double pop the butt chakra and
Yeah,
no other
the scar
chakra.
tissue,
Yeah,
right?
yeah, the scar tissue. We got to take care of him.
Yeah.
Guys, something's happening. Guys.
All right, Ace, keep it
All
going.
right, so this is a segment we like to call My Bad. So it's an opportunity for you to apologize to a person, place, or thing that's done you wrong, that you've done wrong, in order to set your karma back to neutral.
Okay.
We just got done doing Neil's Patreon episode, and boy, did it end with quite the exclamation mark. Did not see that coming. What a twist. That was wild. And $1 gets you all of our exclusive content on our Patreon, which not only includes the counter to the podcast you're watching right now, which we call Two Jack Bros After Dark, where we enlighten Neil's shadow self, and boy, did he take advantage of that shadow part. But we also do some fight commentary and analysis on Ansley's Jiu Jitsu matches. Whether she wins or loses, we put it out there. Neil, did you have a good time?
I had a great time.
Dude, this was a blast.
I
am so glad you did this, man.
Thank you.
And also check out Drop Tent Media and all of the podcasts on there. And Neil has The Cult of Us.
Yep.
There's
there's tons on there. It's all right. Yeah, Seriously Dad, the Weekday Comics
Seriously
with Dave Pimiano. Yeah, there's a bunch of stuff on there. And then you can go to get all this stuff too at either droptent.com or IamNeilWood.com.
Hell yeah. Now we're going to get back to this episode and find out who or what Neil has to apologize to.
This is a big one.
Oh.
I've never admitted this on, I think. So, and now that my uncle is gone, I think actually this might be a good... Listen, Aunt Wib, I did accidentally set fire to the building when I was younger. I didn't mean it. I'm dead serious. I accidentally, when I was younger, we were smoking cigarettes in my aunt's little apartment down in Cape May, and we decided to, we were just like, oh yeah, we want to get rid of the cigarettes, right? And you think it's out. You think you're like, all right, well, I'm going to hide it in the trash, obviously. Like, can't, whatever. And I did, and then that burned like the whole floor. And I come back to sirens. I come back to sirens with my buddy and just being like, oh no. And I'm out front and they're like, you guys weren't smoking up there, right? And I still feel bad at this day. Like it's actually, I don't think I could have ever told my uncle. It just would have hurt. Again, the role model, the male figure that I'm like, the role model. And I'm like, there's no way I'm telling. There's just no way.
How old were you when this happened?
I was a teenager. I was like 17.
So you've been carrying this lie since you were 17?
You were like 34 now?
Yep.
Like almost 2 decades.
Feels
Half
good.
your life.
Yeah. You're welcome from Two Jack Bros.
Man.
Do a promo for you, now I'm better. I'm Neil Wood for Two Jack Bros.
Yeah.
I feel better.
Yeah. Do you have any follow-ups to this arsonist over here?
Well, I'm just curious about the carrying of the lie. Like, how many times with your aunt and uncle did you have to and keeping your friends keeping the squashed and not like.
This was a guy who multiple things there. I think in the moment when you realize that you are responsible for something that big, and it was something that was so just dumb and careless, it feels so big as like to hold that. You're like, I know I shouldn't have been smoking. I knew I should what's going to happen. And I regret it. When people say they have no regrets, I'm always like, I don't know how you're doing it, but good job, but good work. But I don't know how you're doing it. But yeah, it was too big. It was just too big for me to handle at that age. I just wasn't there.
So are you still friends with the culprit?
No. So the other guy, this was a friend who I only knew, like, it was a summer friend. Like, I would only see him every once in a while. He was gone out of my life from there. So we just were like, moving on. We just went and kept going, pretending things were normal.
So what was the cause of the fire attributed to? Well,
it was a
friend.
When I tell you that when the chief, or when the fire chief came out and he was explaining to me, giving me an out, like this was like a curb the curb your enthusiasm kind of, where he was like, yeah, so what we think happened was the little window fans that you guys had in there, you had this long window, the long string for your window blind. It must have got caught in there. That motor overheated. And because the trash, I don't know if I should admit this on air now. I'm thinking about it. But it was an accident. It was an accident, obviously, but there was a trash can. The trash can we threw stuff out in was right underneath that fan.
Oh.
He just was like, okay, well, you guys weren't smoking, so we think those fans, we've had experiences where those fans have gone crazy. And he was just like, yeah, it must have what happened. I was like,
yeah, your
exactly.
mind must have exploded when you're like, yeah.
I'm 17. I'm like, yes, yeah.
Yeah. Wow.
Yeah.
That must have felt so surreal.
It handed it just like this. I was like, I almost died when I was 12, so I'm going to take this now.
Yeah.
And I'm going to do something good later, maybe. But yeah.
So wait, just out of curiosity, did the fire chief and the Hamilton doctors go to the same school? What the hell? That was like a reverse retarded explanation. You know what I mean?
They died.
Yeah. Yeah, I think you're
when he was done, I was waiting for him to go, wink. Like,
Yeah,
just give me a
right?
wink. I was like, thank you so much. Like, yeah. Because it was like, I was like, there's no way anyone believes that, man. That's insane. But it was just believable enough.
No,
No.
it's not.
I agree with you, but you're like, when the chief comes down and he's like, listen, we've seen it, maybe, these things can happen. And they're like, oh my God, that's crazy that happened. Thank God you weren't in there. Now I'm thinking my aunt's like, oh my God, that's right. She'd be concerned about me. I'd put myself in harm, like in danger. Like, you just don't ever say this again. Just keep it.
Are you going to tell your aunt now that you've said this out loud?
Yes.
Well, she's
I
probably
have to.
the number one fan for Two Jack
I
Bros, so she's
I
gonna
should have
hear
known.
it.
Yeah.
She's gonna hear it. That's crazy because although that lie isn't believable, it is believable for ants.
Yes.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like Neil seems like he was a good kid, right?
Mm-hmm.
And you want it to not be. You want it something that is anything but my nephew.
Yeah. And the
You
fire
know.
chief said so.
Right.
I mean, he's the fire chief.
Your Honor.
Well, Ian's the chief now.
Oh, no.
Or that's Ian, not Neil. Neil.
All right. You're all good.
Yeah, Neil. Neil's the chief now. Yeah. That's how you do it.
Yeah.
I think.
Yeah.
I think that's probably how that other fire chief got his job.
Yeah.
He admitted to setting something on fire. And they were like, you got it. It's yours.
Yeah.
Oh shit! I'm getting a call about a fire in Cape May, guys. I gotta get going.
Yeah,
I'm the chief
his
now.
pager's going off.
Yeah.
Yeah, damn.
The
Thank you.
kid said his Jello's on fire, guys. You know how it goes with those kids and their Jello being on fire.
Yeah,
What was the
spontaneous
other-
combustion of Jello. Been there.
Is the firehouse would if you go tell them that you were an arsonic?
Don't do this.
Arsonist?
Don't.
Yeah.
No? Okay. Okay.
I just
I
don't
don't know.
I don't know how. Well, listen. Maybe I shouldn't have said anything. Because again, insurance companies handled the stuff because it was deemed an accident.
Yes.
I don't know.
Yeah, it
I
wasn't
don't know.
you. It was that
It wasn't
Ian
me. It
guy
was
I
that
brought
kid.
up.
Yeah,
Remember that
yeah.
Ian guy I mentioned.
I didn't know.
Yeah.
Man.
Well, definitely that is a
Yeah.
I'm sorry chakra popped wide open.
Wait, I don't think we
feel
got
it.
an official apology though. Do you
Oh,
want to
yeah.
have the
Yeah.
apo-
Yeah,
like
you
you have to
can-
clear the?
I'm
okay.
very sorry. It was an accident. I do apologize, and I've changed.
I've changed.
I've changed. I don't smoke anymore. I don't put cigarettes in trash cans anymore by accident. Let's say if he did that by accident, I don't do that. So I do apologize greatly.
And just out of curiosity, so if you don't know, Neil, we were all talking before the podcast. Neil started smoking really early, 12, right?
Yep.
And he started smoking Marlboro Reds,
Yeah.
and then he went to Virginia Slims.
Of course.
So I'm very curious, what set the fire? What kind of cigarette set the fire? Because that sounds like a Newport action.
Oh, look at you. I think they were Parliaments. If I remember correctly, I think that's what we could get our hands on. They were either Parliaments or a Marlboro Light. I think by then I was more health conscious. I was trying to do myself a favor.
All right. Is that officially? Are we officially now? That's an official pop chakra?
It's popped. Yeah.
Yeah?
I could keep asking questions, but we can move.
What
on.
do you have? What? Go ahead. Do you have
Well,
another?
was this a home? Like, was there?
No,
Did the family lose like the baby pictures, like the valuables that can't be replaced?
Oh God, man,
Those are
now
two
I'm
separate
regretting
questions
this.
because I was listening and it was an apartment.
It wasn't a bar. So this
Yeah.
is the very small apartment that my aunt and my uncle had for many years in a big row home in Cape May.
Okay.
So it was
Okay.
top shelf, a little place, literally just a bed, a tiny kitchen, and a bathroom.
Yeah.
That was it.
Okay.
And that was their
That was like their vacation. Yeah, my uncle had got it. He was doing well for himself. It was like
Neil.
their vacation. Now, mind you,
my
she is living there now, and I hope this never,
Okay.
I hope legally this never also comes up because you're not getting your money back. We're keeping it's very nice. You guys redid it. It looks gorgeous. But
Yeah,
I'm just
you're
saying-
welcome, Aunt.
Yeah.
kind of welcome. Yeah. So yeah.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Okay.
Yeah, all the valuables, all the memories.
A
gone.
lot of it was replaced, yes. But I mean, there definitely were things lost, and that's why
Yeah.
it's huge for me. It's just like, wow, I'm so sorry. I should. It's a lie on top of the lie. It feels like it's
Yeah.
weight on top of the weight. Like you lied, and then it got too big, and then their stuff got burnt up. It's
Yeah.
like,
Man, the pressure you must feel to make like new memories.
guys, I'm sweating. Like, I know you guys are like, I'm sweating in a
Yeah.
good way, but I am sweating.
That's
Yeah,
what-
no, but we can let it pass through now.
I know.
You've
Yeah.
gotten it off your
feel good. I
chest.
feel
You
good.
move forward.
That is,
I do feel good.
yeah, it's wild. That is wild. I feel like now we're somehow involved.
You guys are complicit,
Yeah.
so go ahead, put this out there.
Goodness gracious, man, you made us criminals. That's the first.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That
that's
was
the
awesome.
first time we become complicit in a crime. That's pretty.
Yes.
That's fun.
Yes.
Yeah. Now we can give this apology later on.
Yeah.
I'm so sorry. I helped Neil set that fire. All right. So definitely a chakra popped wide open, and a case popped wide open.
I'm so sorry again.
Yeah. He's keep it moving.
All right. We are to the gut chakra. So Neil, how do you move past disappointment in yourself or in loved ones?
I'm getting better with this. I think this is something I'm working on actively. I'm
Okay.
trying to be less negative towards myself, especially. I'm just doing it through. I'm not in therapy, and I've never done therapy, but I know it's something I should do, and I'm trying to make it happen in my schedule. But I'm really just trying to catch the behavior and trying to really go internal. Like if I'm in the moment, trying to be there, present, and be like, yeah, that was what you did was bad. You just did that. Let's back up. Let's apologize. Let's go there and try to move forward. And the gap's getting smaller. Of like,
What is like? Can I pry into like
Yeah,
what is
sure.
the traditional behavior that you're trying to correct in
I
yourself?
think it's I will beat up on myself for the smallest things.
Oh, okay.
Perfection is a thing. I mean, I went to art school, so you have all of that kind of just artists in general. We usually have a problem with perfection, but and which is hilarious because nothing's perfect. So it's in some ways. So yeah, I've got a lot of that. So one line could be flubbed in a set, and I'm just like, what are you even doing? Just that kind of deal. And then other parts of life too. Just interactions, social interactions on the regular. I'm like, oh, you're an idiot. You said that. Yeah. So I'm trying not to have those thoughts because they just eke out. I feel like
You
Yeah.
do.
otherwise.
So I always like to ask this during this section. So was there a time that maybe you did sports or maybe you did some sort of performance art where you experienced a disappointment that still lingers in your mind?
Still lingers. I guess it's from basketball. I mean, when I was playing basketball, I had such a flub, like such a big, ridiculous mistake where I had everyone in the entire court like laughing at me. And I still do think about it every once in a while. I fell just mid-court, no one around me, just stumbled over my dumb feet, big feet.
Mm-hmm.
And when I tell you that, like my own team, like they did, I was also a lot heavier. They actually made a joke that there was an earthquake. They like stood up and pretended that they like got lifted up. They were very funny. See, I give it up. I go like it's very hurtful because I was on a double that day, and they were like Neil's scoring points and getting rebounds. And I'm feeling good, and he's big and oafy, and sometimes doesn't know where his body is. And I'm coming back down the court.
You had the
after
ball?
a rebound. No. After
Okay.
I just put it up, another rebound, another two. Like coming down feeling good, but I'm in my back, like I'm running backwards, thinking I'm hot shit. I'm like, right? And then I'm like, dude, you're not coordinated for this. Trip over your foot.
Yes.
I slam my head back on the court. Like the whole, you can hear it where you heard people, ooh, like you could hear the pop of the head
Yeah.
hit the court. And that's when my teammates were like, whoa. no, like as if an earthquake had hit because I was a heavier kid, and and like parents were laughing. It was bad. And I just think of it now, but I think of it as a growth thing if we get into it. But I think about it and it being a big kind of like moment in my life of like, you're uncoordinated. You're not going to be smooth ever. You're never going to be smooth in your life, man. Don't try.
I gotta. Were you gonna say something?
It's like kills me that it was also like during a game when you were like killing it.
Middle
like,
court.
Yeah.
Middle court.
And life was just like, no, not gonna happen.
There is no better feeling to that run you do after like scoring or doing something cool on a basketball court, especially when you're doing the backwards run, because you're still looking at the area you just did some cool shit in, you know, and that area is kind of looking back at you, and you're kind of having a moment, and then you exploded in the middle of the court. Was it a long fall? Because you're a big boy. Like, were you like, was there like resistance?
So my heels went first and then my lower back. Like, I don't let it slow-mo happen. No, it was pretty quick. It was mid-court, no one around me. There was no excuse I could have made. And it was just wham.
Ooh.
Like, it was, like I said, that pop of when a kid's head hits the ground. That was bad. I had a little concussion.
You're pure rotational velocity, just like running backwards and
Yeah.
bam. I love seeing those falls.
I know. I can't even hate on it. Like, it was like, that was a pretty funny move, guys. Actually, it was a pretty funny joke.
Well, technically wasn't a move.
No. Oh, no. I meant
Nobody
what they did on the
trains for
bench.
that deal.
I meant what they did on the bench. I was like, it's a pretty funny move. You guys coordinated an earthquake
Yeah, that's
in
quick.
that moment. I was like, you guys are pretty good.
Were most of the people on your team black? Is that why that?
You know what, Sidney? They weren't.
They weren't?
It was actually, yes, they were not.
Well, good on them.
I know. Look at that.
They were ready.
They were ready.
They were ready.
Good for you guys.
Don't get ready, stay ready.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes.
Yeah, and thank you for sharing, man. That is definitely a gut chakra popped. I love that. I wish we had video of that we could put, we could like overlay that and just keep looping it. Actually, if you can send us video of that, the video for this episode that isn't here, we'll just keep looping that fall for like the first 13 minutes of this episode. All right. Ace, let's keep it moving.
All right, we are to the heart chakra. So, Neil, what have you learned from grief?
Oh, what have I learned from grief? I think we kind of hit on it, but I'll try to. Yeah, I mean, again, I've learned that I'm calling my mom more. I'm calling my parents. I'm calling everybody more. Being there at parties, family. It's just any place I can make it. That's what I've learned.
Did you go through a phase where you were like unattached from your family, like distant?
I feel like it was the launch. Like I went to school in Philly, but I'm from Jersey, so it was like you're out in the world now. You know, it's where we know we're going to be seeing less of you. You're trying to, you got a job out of college, luckily, but you're out there now. You're moving to Philly, and you're out. So then comedy. So it became I wasn't making it a priority, and it needs to be a priority for me. Yeah, and that's what I've learned, I think, from grief. Like, in the way, again, my uncle's passing, my dad, things like that. I'm just like, you just got to show up more.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Any other questions, Mom?
No, sorry. Did I mom on that?
I don't know.
Why weren't you calling your mother? I need to know.
It was a little bit of a tone of like, why weren't you calling me?
So,
What did I do?
Yeah.
What did I do other than raise you the best that I could?
It's true.
Yeah. But let's go. There's no reason to harp on this too much longer since we started off with this
Correct.
section technically.
yes.
But yeah, we'll call that a throat,
A
a heart chakra, pre-popped,
Okay.
then popped.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was double popped.
You can double pop the heart.
Okay, that sounds like the worst thing to double pop. I'm not gonna lie to you.
We're all doctors here.
Yeah.
Yes.
We're all doctors.
And then you will die.
And then you will.
Okay. All right. Ace, keep it moving.
All right, we are to the throat chakra.
We made it.
So, Neil, what is a favorite lie that you tell or have told? Extra karmic points if it's still in rotation.
Yeah. All right.
Yeah, you thought you got through that one already, huh?
I know. Throat chakra's kind of hurting. Okay. A favorite lie that I might still even have in rotation, but not possibly. I would have to say it's probably something to do with my dad, or I feel like I've been lying or have lied in the past of like my dad, our relationship being like better than it was. I feel like, and I kind of still, I mean, you know, you don't want to harp on someone who's passed, but I still think about the relationship, and sometimes I'll still be like, no, he was a good guy and everything, and you know, there's no ill will, but I'm still getting over a little bit of the relationship there and him not being there, I think. So I do tend to just soften it for other people and not get into it. And I still keep that in rotation. I still kind of go like, yeah, I'm fine. It's okay.
Yeah, that's a tough one with dads,
Yeah.
right? Because I think for the most part, like dad relationship, like son to dad relationships, they're never as good as they could be. However, as a man, because you have the issue is with another man, technically, you want to not you don't want to harp on it,
Right.
because it's like, I don't want beef with this man.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because it feels kind of like cowardice isn't the word that I'm looking for, but what is there a more technical word for pussy like?
Yeah, there's got to be something in there, right?
Yeah.
Yellow belly? No, that's
A little
not
yellow
it.
bellied.
Yeah.
Because you wouldn't want to say anything to him about it, and have him be able to be like, "Ugh, you're acting like this about it." You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Because like he's a man, and like you know we're
Yeah.
similar enough age where men used to present more manly back in the day.
Yeah.
You know, so
Definitely.
you know, even in his absence, like the absence means since his passing, you don't want to be like, you don't want to like carry on like a pussy.
Yeah, I feel like it was like belaboring a point. It's like, Dad, yeah, you know you weren't great. We haven't really dealt with that, but at the same time, you're getting older, and what am I going to harp on you every time I see you? Like, but we just never cleared the air. I think that's the lie I keep telling myself, and kind of outwardly.
Yeah.
Sometimes, like, yeah, it was fine. We never really cleared the air.
Dads suck
Yeah,
for the most part. And I think the one thing that maybe, I don't know if you even missed out on this timing wise, but what tends to happen is dads, you know, suck for a while, but then you're around him long enough to realize like, oh, he's a good dude, just a shitty dad.
Gotcha.
You know what I mean?
Yes.
Two things can be true at the same time for dads.
Yeah.
It's not so much for moms. But, you know, that's kind of the phase that I'm in with my dad right now. And sometimes I think that I'm doing the same thing where I'm kind of like lying to myself about how good the relationship was. But it's like, no, he's an okay guy. He's just not great as a dad.
Yeah.
You know, like if we were like homies,
Right.
there we go.
Yeah.
You know, so, but yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's the first time we got a lie like that.
Yeah,
It's a very
An
not to say-
honest lie.
and not to say that everybody else's lies weren't honest,
Right.
but there's something applicable about that one. Like there's
Yeah.
something that I feel like that hit me, and I'm like, huh.
Yeah.
That information is somehow being used by me.
Yeah.
I don't know how yet,
Yeah.
but like I will take this. Maybe what I'll do is when our son is ready to accept that I'm a cool guy but a shitty dad, I can show him this. So, Neil, definitely a throat chakra popped.
Okay.
Probably one of the best popped chakras in the throat that we've had so far.
Yeah.
You deep throated that one. It was a deep throat chakra.
Even
Oh, that's
as
my
a-
second lie. I deep throat. I forgot. I've been telling people I cannot deep throat. I tell everyone I can deep throat. I can't.
What were you gonna say?
I was gonna say, even as a daughter with a father, I feel like I could relate to that, like dealing with a
Yeah,
father.
you think you can.
Okay.
Yeah, but throat chakra popped.
Uh-huh.
Ace, I am sorry.
Mm-hmm.
You can relate.
Mm-hmm.
Let's keep it moving.
We are to the third eye chakra. So Neil, we are out of the physical, now into the metaphysical. So what is something that you've always thought of as separate, but as you've gotten older, you realized it's really the same?
Something I always thought was separate. I mean, it's pretty hack, but I don't know. It's every once in a while I feel like now in my 30s with exes and that have ended amicably and things. I'm like, yeah, men and women, we're kind of the same. Like I know the hack is always like we're very different, and we get on it. But I'm just like, yeah, you're the same. Yeah, we communicate differently, sure. But I'm like, animals. You know, I think growing up, I thought we was like polar opposites. Like, no, we would never get along or something like that, or it was always going to be tough. But now I got a little hope.
I think Neil might have just learned that women poop.
Well, and then they die. If they poop, they die. Everyone knows that. Those are they get sick and they die.
So what is it that you feel is the same between men and women that you're starting to see?
I think it just starts to be that really it's not a sexual component. It's got nothing to do with genitals or whatever it is. People associate mind to their genitals or whatever. I'm like, did you have good communication skills growing up, or are you actively trying to get your communication skills better? And that's the only, I'm like, other than that, I'm like, you have a vagina, great, you're good for me. Like, it's like, I'm more just being like, we're the same. Like, we're the same human being. Like, we're the same animal. At least that's just now how I feel. I mean, I know that some women are like, no, I want to be treated, or like, no, don't treat me like just another, I want to be treated like a woman or whatever. I'm like, you're a person, I respect you, but I don't know. We're the same.
You're getting sick of lady shit, and you're just like, dude, you're not a princess, you're a person.
I will say that. Yeah, I do not. If a young woman was like, you treat me like a princess, like, we're not ever gonna talk again. Yeah. So don't worry about it. This is done, and you sound like a child to me.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Well, we learned earlier that he was raised by a bunch of women, and because of that, he's not a scumbag. Mm-hmm. So I think what he's learning now is that he doesn't have to put the pussy on a pedestal.
Oh.
True. Took a lot of years.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Get down here, pussy. You're right down here in the dirt with my dick.
That's where you keep your dick.
Yeah, right in the dirt.
Like a carrot.
Whatever reverse Oscar music is, like, I'm taking the trophy away. Get down here.
Yeah, I like that. I like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, great answer, by the way. Yeah, your pussy is just as retarded as mine.
I do genuinely. I just can't. I do feel that way.
Definitely a third eye chakra popped.
Mm-hmm.
Popped. Yeah.
Yeah.
Ace, keep it moving.
All right, we did it. We're at the crown chakra. So, Neil, 2-part question. What is one thing you can't give up and why? And what would giving it up mean?
I'm struggling with nicotine pretty heavily. I consume a lot of nicotine pouches or gum now. I was smoking when I was 12, as I told you guys. So, you know, and I would like to give it up, but it would mean me changing many habits all at once, and I just know at the present moment, given the level of stress, I'm like, there's just no way. I want to. I want to bring that down, but I'm worried I can't.
Oh, I've got questions. I've got questions.
Yeah.
How many other habits would have to change for you to stop smoking?
For me to stop, like, taking, like, nicotine. Yeah.
I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Whatever, you're no longer
Indulging.
smoking.
Yeah.
Indulging in nicotine.
Definitely addicted to nicotine. Wow. My brain, like, dude, when I tell you that, like, yeah, my brain might need to be rewired. How many habits, though? A lot of them, Sidney. Just many habits I would need to change. Yeah, it's so ingrained into the routine.
Do we have to go back to the lie chakra again? Here? Like, what is happening right now?
No,
because I mean, so here's why I asked. And I don't mean to put your back up against the wall here. Everybody has to deal with their addictions in the way that they deal with them, right? But a lot of times we give ourselves lip service.
Okay.
Where we say, oh, I can't do that because I have to do this, or I have to do so many things will have to get done before I can do that. And we just say that. Like that blanket statement, like, so many things will have to get done before I do that. And then when you ask yourself, like, what are the things that would have to get done? And then you start to realize, like, oh shit, no, I could just do that thing. Yeah. So I was just curious if you were in a place where you were giving yourself lip service, or if there are actually habits that would have to stop for you to stop this habit.
Doctor, I think I was lip servicing. I'm thinking about it now. He's like, just stop. Just stop. Why can't you just stop? And that
was the most mature contribution I've ever had to anything ever in my life. I feel so good right now. I'm a dad.
Yeah.
I have stopped, like I said, I think in the journey of, like, because I stopped smoking, I was like, you got to stop smoking. And then vaping, I was like, you got to be done with vaping. And I've been, like, getting there, but I've not taken the bigger leaps like in the behaviors to be like, all right, man, you're gonna have 5 pieces of nicotine gum today, and you're gonna space them out, and dude, those are the habits that I would need to set in place. And every time I think about it, I'm like, that sounds like work.
Okay.
And I don't want to do it. And so then how much do I want to give it up? I don't. It's either that or food. It's either one of those two things.
You gotta eat.
Yeah.
I know, but
Can't
I'm
give up
also an
food.
overeater. Again, I was a chubby kid growing up. Food is like my go-to. I need it. Eating late, overeating.
Okay.
It's either that or nicotine.
So what would it look like? What would your life look like if you gave up nicotine?
I think I would. Real shit. I think I would smoke probably more weed
Okay.
as a way to. I'm just trying to think of what I would do. If you were like, hey, you can't have nicotine now, I'm like, okay.
So you'd become awesome.
I would become amazing. I'd become amazing. I already have a medical card, but I'd be like, okay, well, we're gonna lean a little harder, and I'm gonna try to just counterbalance.
You have a medical card?
I have a medical card.
You have a license to chill?
How many times has he done it? How many times? You tell me now. God damn it.
Yeah.
Yes, I do. I don't. What do you want me to say after that?
Sorry. I'm so
God damn it. Who does that? No. That was too much fun.
Yeah. So, but yeah. So I'm sorry.
would.
So
That's what I would do.
You would smoke more weed.
I would smoke more. I would make another habit. I would probably put it, and habits are, they're things we do as humans. So I would be like, all right, let's try this and see if I can just have and wean myself off. But I would probably lean more into weed.
Okay.
Even harder.
Yeah. You got any follow-ups there?
No.
Piece of advice.
Yeah.
Yeah. Let me know.
Yeah, Neil. We did it. How do you feel, man?
I'm a little worried about the legally, but other than that, I mean, we'll just wait to see how it comes out. So we'll just see how that goes. I hope everyone feels my sorriness in everything we did, but I feel genuinely good.
Awesome.
I feel genuinely good.
Yeah. Yeah, and I didn't even ask you do you have time to stick around for the Patreon?
Of course.
Awesome.
Yeah, I think we can do that, yeah.
Awesome. Yeah. And just to let you guys know, our Patreon is a $1, gets you all of our exclusive content, which not only includes the counter to this podcast, which we call 2 Jack Pros After Dark, where we're going to enlighten Neil's shadow self, but we also do some fight commentary and analysis on Ansley's Jiu Jitsu matches, and hopefully we'll be getting a lot more varied content on the Patreon in the very near future. Just recently started getting the social media shit right,
He's getting his shit
and
together.
now we're going to get the Patreon popping. Like popping. And also check out Neil's multiple podcasts, right?
Yeah, we have a little network. Yeah, drop10.com. You can go there for all the dates and details for shows and podcasts.
Okay. You don't want to talk about any specific podcasts that you do?
Oh, sure. Yeah. You can check it. Yeah, I didn't know how much time. Yeah, I didn't know. I didn't want to throw it to plugs. Like, you guys are like, we don't do plugs.
What if I was like, dude, calm down.
Yeah, I know.
You already
promoting
said
yourself?
drop 10. Chill.
But yeah, check out Cult of Us podcast. That's me and Adam Miller, and you can check out a lot of the great stuff we have. The Weekday Comics is taking off. We love it. We've got Crimes to Remember with Sherry Franklin, and Jay Yoder and Albert Davis have a great podcast called Seriously Dad. And yeah, there's even stuff for the Porcupine for libertarian people out there. If you're into that, yeah, go check out all those over at drop10.com.
Hell yeah. Go check out his shit.
Thank you.
Neil's the man. And we'll do our plug whenever. So, guys, we did it. We made it once again. Thank you so much for watching and listening. We love you guys, and we are out.
See ya.
2 Jack Bros.